For over a century, they did not just sell the world's most precious stones. They controlled the very idea of them, the price of a proposal, the sparkle in a king's crown, the eternal symbol of love. It all ran through one single dynasty. This family was the Oppenheimers, and their empire, De Beers. Then in 2012, Nicky Oppenheimer, the third-generation patriarch, did the unthinkable. He sold the keys to the kingdom. He cashed out the family's 40% stake for a staggering $5.1 billion. Why would the man who owned the diamond world voluntarily walk away from his throne? The answer lies not in what he bought, but in the ultimate luxury he purchased: exoneration, privacy, and 110,000 hectares of Africa itself. To understand Nicky, you must understand his grandfather, Sir Ernest Oppenheimer. In the early 1900s, Ernest saw the chaos of diamond mining and envisioned an oligopoly. In 1926, he seized control of De Beers. His genius wasn't just in mining, it was in control. He knew if you controlled the supply, you controlled the demand. Ernest established the Central Selling Organization, CSO. For decades, the CSO guaranteed one thing: 90% of all global rough diamonds flowed through them. They literally decided how many diamonds the world was allowed to buy in a year. This was not business. This was absolute economic supremacy. Nicky, the third generation, would inherit this immense power, and with it the greatest scrutiny of all. When Nicky took the chairman's seat in 1985, the romantic story of De Beers was being shattered by a harsh reality, the term that decimated the dynasty's polished image: blood diamonds. The contradiction was stark. The symbol of eternal love was, in many regions, directly funding brutal conflict. The pressure on De Beers was immense. The family was forced to drastically change their image, scrambling to prove their stones were ethically sourced under global condemnation. This massive public scrutiny was something his grandfather never had to face. The scrutiny wasn't just ethical, it was financial. Independent mines in Russia and Australia started to sell outside the CSO. The 90% monopoly was eroding. The rise of synthetic diamonds presented an existential threat. The control was slipping. Nicky Oppenheimer was faced with a choice: fight the inevitable decay of the monopoly, or accept the reality that the business model of the 20th century could not survive the transparency of the 21st. The solution he landed on was radical, definitive, and worth $5 billion. In 2011, he finalized the sale of the family's 40% stake to Anglo-American, the other mining giant his family controlled. The decision was an emotional and strategic earthquake. For 85 years, the Oppenheimers were diamonds. Selling the company that defined their legacy was akin to a king abandoning his birthright. But Nicky was pragmatic. He realized the real money was no longer in controlling a volatile supply chain, but in the liquidity of pure capital. He wasn't selling the company for cash. He was buying freedom from liability and freedom to pursue his ultimate passion. The sale immediately made the Oppenheimer family one of the most powerful and liquid forces in global private equity. He took his fortune and reinvested it through private funds, focusing on essential sectors across the continent. He traded the messy glory of a monopoly for the quiet, unassailable power of a private investor. But where did a man accustomed to controlling the most valuable gem on earth choose to spend his private time? This is not just a destination. It is an economic power move disguised as a luxury resort. This is Tswalu Kalahari, Nicky Oppenheimer's private sanctuary in South Africa. Tswalu is over 110,000 hectares that's larger than the City of London, and it is entirely dedicated to conservation. This is the ultimate luxury, the purchase of untouched space. This is where the Diamond King truly lives. Forget sprawling mansions in London. The real wealth is found in the rarity of a private ecological domain. The guest capacity is kept absurdly low. No more than 40 people across the entire reserve at any time. When you are this wealthy, a private jet is a convenience. A superyacht is a toy, but a sovereign tract of the earth itself, dedicated to ecology, where you can escape all scrutiny. That is the true definition of a modern luxury empire. Every day here is a profound statement. Nicky Oppenheimer has moved beyond the industry of extraction and into the world of stewardship, a softer, more sophisticated form of control. The Oppenheimer story is not a simple tale of rags to riches. It is a complex chronicle of legacy to liquidity. They left when the world demanded transparency and accountability. Nicky Oppenheimer understood that the greatest burden of inherited power is the need for a graceful exit. By selling the crown, he freed his family to build a new empire, one based not on a depleting resource, but on the ultimate scarcity, privacy, and purpose. The blood diamond legacy has been exchanged for the serene luxury of the Kalahari. And that is the ultimate lesson in billionaire world building. Don't just own the assets, own the narrative. But the question remains, can any family truly escape the controversy of an empire built on the exclusive control of African resources? Let me know in the comments.